You might casually stand in a local parking lot and critically look at the relatively small exterior dimensions of this compact sedan and automatically incorrectly assume that your poor rear seat passengers will be brutally forced into doing highly uncomfortable, painful yoga poses for the entire duration of a massive cross-country road trip. But you are completely mathematically wrong about the brilliant packaging engineering of this specific chassis. The interior design engineers managed to perform an absolute masterclass in volumetric spatial utilization, practically bending the highly established laws of physics to successfully carve out an incredibly spacious and airy cabin from a remarkably small and maneuverable exterior footprint that is incredibly easy to park in crowded cities. Let us deeply start our physical dive at the rear trunk area, because ultimate cargo capacity is usually the absolute ultimate deal breaker for large families aggressively planning long-distance summer vacations. You are generously provided with nearly 390 cubic liters of absolute cavernous uninterrupted cargo space, waiting completely hidden securely behind the rear passenger seats. Unlike many highly expensive modern cars, where the massive intrusive thick trunk hinges violently swing down and completely crush your fragile expensive luggage when you aggressively close the lid, the smart physical design utilized here keeps the mechanical intrusion to an absolute bare minimum, allowing you to confidently pack hard-shell suitcases and fragile cardboard boxes right up to the very outer edges of the soft trunk lining, without any heavy fear of physical damage. If you suddenly and unexpectedly find yourself desperately needing to transport something incredibly long and physically awkward, like a massive flat-pack wooden bookshelf from a massive Swedish furniture store, or a complete set of long heavy winter ski equipment, the rear seat backrests feature a highly convenient mechanism that smoothly folds them down in a brilliant 60-40 split, creating a massive continuous completely flat load floor that powerfully extends right from the rear plastic bumper deep into the primary passenger cabin. Moving our critical attention forward to the rear passenger seating area, the exterior metal roofline of the car thoughtfully stays relatively high and completely flat for a surprisingly long distance before sharply sloping aggressively down towards the heated rear window, which critically means that extremely tall adult passengers sitting deeply in the back actually retain proper, highly usable headroom without constantly frustratingly rubbing their hair on the soft fabric ceiling liner. The front two primary seats are intelligently mounted on thick, heavy steel rails positioned high enough off the carpeted metal floor pan that rear passengers can easily physically slide their heavy, bulky winter boots completely underneath them, giving a massive psychological and very physical perception of vastly extended legroom that entirely prevents leg cramps. The actual physical rear seat cushions themselves are heavily and aggressively bolstered with a highly specific high-density polyurethane foam that successfully completely prevents the dreaded painful physical fatigue you usually experience deep in your lower back after sitting completely trapped in heavy gridlock traffic for 3 agonizing hours on a terrible degraded concrete highway. The primary driver seating position is also highly customizable and physically adjustable, featuring a steering column that generously offers both massive tilt and telescopic depth adjustments, ensuring that regardless of whether you are an incredibly tall individual or a quite physically short driver, you can easily and quickly find the absolute perfect geometric spatial relationship with the accelerator and brake pedals, entirely preventing joint knee pain on massive long drives. When you are aggressively embarking on a massive long-distance cross-country road trip, the ambient interior cabin acoustics play a surprisingly massive and crucial role in your overall mental comfort, and the thick, heavy sound-deadening materials aggressively applied directly to the inner metal wheel wells and the entire bare metal floor pan do a truly remarkable physical job of heavily filtering out that harsh, droning tire roar that usually loudly radiates from rough, heavily degraded concrete interstates. You can actually completely comfortably hold a completely normal, quiet-spoken conversation with your adult passengers sitting way in the deep back seat without having to loudly yell or aggressively shout over the rushing wind noise, even while cruising completely smoothly at 120 kilometers per hour. The internal digital climate control system is brutally efficient and highly overpowered, specifically engineered to aggressively cool down a completely heat-soaked boiling hot black interior in a matter of mere quick minutes, forcefully pushing a massive loud volume of freezing cold air entirely through the large center and side plastic dashboard vents to ensure absolutely everyone stays completely physically comfortable. The highly sophisticated physical suspension damping we discussed at deep length earlier works in absolutely perfect, highly synchronized mechanical harmony with the internal metal seat springs to totally physically isolate your fragile human spine from harsh sudden chassis vibrations heavily caused by terrible neglected road infrastructure. Even the thickly padded armrests, located on the interior plastic door panels, and the central center console are meticulously positioned at the exact perfect ergonomic physical height to comfortably rest your tired heavy elbows during a massive long monotonous incredibly boring stretch of completely straight flat interstate driving. This incredible highly obsessive level of ergonomic thought and physical comfort engineering is usually strictly heavily reserved for massive highly expensive luxury executive saloons, but finding this exact level of interior acoustic refinement packaged neatly directly into such a highly affordable basic compact vehicle makes this specific car the absolute ultimate highly undisputed champion of budget-friendly long-distance endurance family travel.